Hey everybody. Let me know you can hear me and see me. I have a fur buffing. So I made today. She's latched on at the hip. Hey Jeremy, I know what you're saying. Hi Teresa. I got some goodies to share with y'all today. Yes, I got my hands on you. Look, come here. Look, you want to see yourself on the camera? Here, look at the camera. Look at the camera. See the camera? Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. I'm here. She has not left me all day. It started about 3 o'clock this morning. Hi, how you doing? I'm sweltering over here. It is 91. I don't want to discuss the heat index. Hey, Teresa, you got the first crown today. Jeremy got the second. Awesome. Hi, Harola. Mia has taken up my lap. It's her new residency. I'm just saying. Y'all getting rain too, ain't you, Jeremy? We got rain yesterday for the most part of the day. Every time I turned around, here come another storm. And last night it got down pretty cool. When we closed the house up, it was like 76. Nick got the third one. Pam got, or Harold got the fourth one. Pam got the fifth one. Well, I didn't, I never learned to swim, but it looks like I might have to. Hi, Carol. Yeah, we got the ACs running, all three of them. Got a fan blowing on me. It's just freaking hot. I lived in Georgia for almost 37 years. And Dennis would come home from work and he'd call me when he'd come in from work, when he was coming up the road to the house. He'd call me on the phone and say, open the front door. And I'd go open the front door because our door handle faced the incoming sun and it would blister his hands just opening the door. So yeah, it was ridiculous. And this isn't summer yet. Summer doesn't hit here till about mid-August to September, and that's when the temps are in the hundreds all the time. So y'all make sure you hit that like button, please. It builds the algorithm, gives us higher paying commercials, gives us more perks. Yeah, it's never too early to tat snowflakes. And if you can think of the snow when it's really hot, you might cool off. I can agree with that. Okay, you got to go to your dad. She got all dressed up. She put all her bows on today. She wanted her bows and she wanted her bow tie. She just wants everything, including her mama. Oh, yes, I love you too. Well, climb up. Okay, I got you. She likes sitting just like this. A little rotten, are we? She's my baby. We haven't told her she's a dog yet, so she's a small human with lots of hair. She's not feeling too good. She hasn't been feeling good the past couple of days. And when she's not feeling good, she wants her mama. She's got a cold. Just a tad bit of a cold. You want to come and get her? You want to go up in the window and chase the cat? You can chase the cat in the window. You got her. There. Hi, RD. She's as rotten as they come. I got something in the mail today. I want to show you guys something new. You might like it. Everybody say hi to Mary Jane while you're at it. She's on. Mary Jane lives in an airport hangar. They built a house inside of a hangar, and that's where her and her daughter lives. And the runway, they have to pick the limbs and stuff and things like that to fall off the trees because it's a grass runway. And the other day she was telling me they had to go pick up the limbs, and she said they was just highballing it down the runway. I just died laughing at her age. She's 96 years old, and I hope and pray I can get around as good as she does and at least live to be 96. The stories she can tell and the things she's seen when it came around and happened the first time. She saw the first of many things we take for advantage today. I mean, she's led an exciting life. Don't think she hasn't. And she's got a very positive attitude. I just love that about her. We ain't got too much longer. Y'all ready for today's pattern? It's a lot of fun. It's easy. Looks complicated, but it's very easy. Y'all keep Kathy Lambert in your thoughts and prayers. Her and her husband. Well, her husband's in the hospital. She's checked in too. You know how our husbands are. They go to the hospital. They want maid service there too. Hi, Jillian. So, yeah, keep her in your thoughts and prayers that he gets better and she can come home again because she's like us. We don't like hospitals. I try to avoid them like the plague. I'm just saying. Last time I was in the hospital, I sat there for 4 hours waiting for my steroids to kick in. And it's like, they're kicked in, the swelling's gone. Can I please go home? And it took them 4 hours to release me. And all I needed was a steroid injection. I had a reaction. So yeah, it's no fun. I think they get you in there and they want to keep you, you know, so they can charge you room fees even though you don't get a room. It's a gimmick. One time, this was years ago, they put me in the hospital and they was looking for a heart attack. I wasn't having one. My blood pressure was just through the roof. And so they kept me in the cardiac care unit. But the thing is, they didn't put me in the cardiac care unit until 1 o'clock in the morning. Checkout, so they wouldn't charge you for another day in the room, was at 10 a.m. They didn't release me until 12:30 the next day. So they got 2 billing days on the room, and they stuck me on a machine and they had me wrapped up like a mummy and I couldn't sleep. And then, pop this, they served me bacon and eggs for breakfast in a cardiac care unit. Not smart. Bonnie made it. Awesome. So yeah, I don't like hospitals. If I'm ever in one, y'all send me an escape kit. I'm serious. Send me an escape kit. All right, we can go ahead and get started on the goodies I got today. Y'all have heard me talk about Melanie's survey. She used to do the homework site for Georgia back when Georgia ran the classes. And when I first took over, she ran the homework site. Well, it got to be, hi, Gail. It got to be hard on her with everything that was going on in her life because she had just started with the Lace Museum, working with them and other things that she was focused on, that there was too much homework coming in and she couldn't get it up. So I made the ultimate decision to shut down the homework site. Well, her daughter has got a 3D printer, and she's been printing things out of the 3D printer. And the last thing she printed up was the shuttle ship. This has been so much of a lifesaver to me because it stores my shuttles in the size of threads that I use for the classes. Okay. Or my most used shuttles are always in here. But the center part will hold a whole ball of your Elizabeth threads. Okay. And you can put all your shuttles here. But this was designed for Richard Embry's Helix Tatting, because you put shuttles in there and you just rotate it. Okay. If you do tatting with multiple shuttles, lifesaver. Okay. It keeps everything neat and tidy. So, you know, I showed this in class, but I didn't get the actual product review up yet. So I'm going to do that review tomorrow. But she sent me her latest, greatest invention. And this is what she sent me. I'm going to take this off. Anybody know what this is? How many of y'all know what this is? You see it? See all these grid lines and stuff? Hi, Janella. This is her newest item. And this is what they call a 12 ray. And what you do is you put your tatting on there. It helps you line up everything. If your tatting is supposed to line up across from each other, this arch here, and you'd have another arch here, then you could check your tension and where everything's sitting before you send it in for a competition, before you submit it as an entry at some of the craft fairs and stuff. All that's coming up in the fall. So this can help you make sure everything's lined up like it's supposed to be. Now it's made out of plastic. Okay. It is 3D printed, but this will help you line up your tatting better than anything else that you can imagine. You can't pin anything on it. It's plastic. This is strictly for aligning all your tatting. So you're working on a project like today's project, and it's equal-sided. You lay it down here and you line it up, and you make sure everything lines up in, alignment like it's supposed to. That way, your tatting tension is even all the way through. It can also help new beginners on their tension because it shows them where at in a pattern they start losing the tension. Okay? So, with that said, we're buffering. Hold on. Must have storms in the area. Let me look. Clouds are building. We're hoping to make a class through with it. Okay. I don't know what the retail price is, but I will put a link down below the video after class for you guys so you can click on it. But I do have a link to her Etsy shop, and it is already below this. It is Stephanie Servey Designs, and there's her Etsy shop. Okay. Now, I've got her also working on some other things for Tatters. I can't tell you, it's a secret, because it's all this takes time for her to design. And she, according to the new laws with Etsy, you have to own the rights to your design. You can no longer buy someone else's design or pick up someone else's design and use it and sell it on Etsy. They're trying to stop 15 shops with the same product. Okay, they want variety, and I understand it. They're also working to get rid of copyright problems, and just like YouTube is. Amazon, not so much yet. They'll get on the bandwagon before long, we can hope and pray. But with that, this pattern today would be a perfect pattern to lay out after you're finished with it and look and make sure everything's lined up. And then you can use today's pattern, okay, to enter it into a craft fair. If it's right on that board, you're going to win a prize, okay? You may get a blue ribbon out of it if your alignments are right, if your picots are right, your joins are right, and you don't have any gaposis, okay? They look for certain things, and you want to avoid all those certain things so you can win the top prize. Now, some craft fairs pay top prizes. I had a friend that did cross stitch, and she would come home from craft fairs with a wallet full of money that she had won for her work that she had achieved. She did one that was a bride on her wedding day looking in the mirror and holding her hand on a chair. And you could see her reflection of the front side of her in the mirror. And on the back side, you saw the wedding gown out away from the mirror. And it honestly looked like you could reach in there and touch it. She was so detailed with it. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'd never seen anything so beautiful in my life. But her attention to detail was unbelievable. And she walked home from the craft fair with $3,200 in her pocket. That is a fat paycheck, let me tell you. Okay? And she said, you never get enough for your time, but the recognition goes a long way. So if you want recognition and you want to build a clientele for special projects, that's the way to do it, because they will hand your card out like it's, cards, playing poker and handing them out. So that's an idea for you guys. So that's what I've showed you. That's a little tidbit for you. Now let's go down here so that we can see this I've got on the table. Let me switch my settings. Another light to turn on. There we go. Now I'm going to zoom in. I don't want to make y'all dizzy. Slip there. I think that's too close for right now. All right, here we go. This is today's pattern. Did y'all read through it? Did you catch all the little pitfalls you're going to find along the way? Because if you don't find them beforehand, guess when you're going to find them? When you don't want it while you're working it. That's why I say read through your pattern first. Know what direction you're going first. Then pick up shuttle and thread. Because if you pick up shuttle and thread and then just start the pattern, you are going to join in the wrong place at the wrong time, and this is a pattern you don't want to rip out. This will give you headaches upon headaches ripping out. Trust me, this I know. I have experience in ripping out. Lots of experience. You will too. All right, so first of all, she says to put about 12 meters, okay, of thread. Not 12 meters, excuse me. Here it is, a meter on your shuttle. Don't cut it. She wants 5 size 12 millimeter buttons, okay? Now, we don't deal in millimeters here. We deal in inches. And that figures out, she gave you the measurement to about a 7/16. Okay, what's a 7/16? For those of us that don't use a ruler and know how to use one, let me show you. Our tape measures that we sew with are divided up with all these increments here. Most tape measures have a 16th mark. Your 16th mark is this one right here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every mark is a 16th. Your next mark here is an 1/8. Your next is a 1/4. Your next is a 1/2. Your next is 3/4, and then you've got an inch. Okay, so if you get a tape measure, 9 times out of 10, because it's a tape measure, and it is used for measuring waistlines, arms, legs, and toes, and everything else to sew clothing, it will have 16ths on it. Because there are patterns that says you cut 1/16 or 2/16 of this, and you have to do it. So remember that. And 16/16 is an inch. All right, so that's a lesson in how to read a ruler. Is that everybody like that? I'm pretty sure most of you know it, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know it. They never picked up a ruler before, never used one before. There is a difference between a tape measure like this for clothing and a tape measure you use for, say, measuring wood, tile, stuff like that. If you will get a yardstick, compare it to this, it'll be off. If you get a regular tape measure for measuring wood and measure it to this, it's going to be off. Try it. You'll see what I'm talking about. And it's because the tape measure that is made for wood, the one your husband carries around and clips to his pocket, that's not for delicacies. If it's like this, limber, it's made for measuring clothing. That is a clothing tape measure. If it's rigid, it's for measuring rigid things like wood, like aluminum, you know, things like that, pipe stuff. Okay, so remember that. Keep a tape measure. They have paper tape measures you get with little sewing kits. Okay, and you can measure things with it. Anything to do with sewing, you can measure with it. Here's my sample. Now, this is about a 7/16. All right, just about it. It's like a shy shorter. That's okay. All right, as long as you get within the hash mark before or after, you're okay on this pattern. Don't go jumbo size button with little bitty thread. That ain't going to be pretty. You want it to be pretty. Okay, now this is size 20 thread, and this is a 7/16 button. Okay, it's labeled as such. But when I measure it on the tape measure, it's short, just a hair. And that's okay. All right, we don't have to be precise when tatting with buttons, other than if she requires a small button, don't get a jumbo button. All right, because it's going to throw everything off. All right, so for this pattern, you're going to need your buttons, you're going to need your thread, and I chose this thread because, and it's thread color number 154, it's Elizabeth, and it's called Wildflower Garden, and I thought that is perfect for this pattern because this is a button flower. Now this could be a snowflake too, if you wanted it to. I know snowflakes have so many points, and stars have so many points, and this has so many points. But be artistic and step outside the box. That's what we need to do, is be artistic and step outside the box. Don't do the norm. Do something different. Be different. That's how you get your name out there. If you want to design, do it different because it's been done before. Keep that in the back of your mind. I don't care what you design. It's been done before. All right? Some people require you to put so many points on a snowflake. I say if it's pretty, it's a snowflake. Okay? Now, you're going to need tatting gauge, picot gauge. You're going to need hackle pliers or crisscross tweezers. These are crisscross tweezers. This is what beaders use when they're tying the knot on pearl necklaces. These work perfect for opening up a ring. Okay? You're going to need a pair of scissors. Of course, you're going to need the shuttle and the thread. Now, this is where I'm going to show you how to start the pattern, and we're going to finish this one. And you're going to need a crochet hook. Now, you see my crochet hook? See how big that thing is? You want a crochet hook that will fit through the button that you're working with and come out a pretty good distance past it, because when you grab that thread, you want to be able to pull it through and not fight it. Now, you can use a piece of wire, red wire, anything else that you want to use to pull your thread through. This here is a size 10 crochet hook. And if you look, it's got a really firm hook back here on it that it'll grab. When you get that opened hook like that, it won't drop your thread. Whereas one like this, let me get a bigger one. One like this, can y'all see that hook? It's not well defined. You see it? Let me get it up there. Can y'all see? See it? That hook's not well defined. It's sort of like a bump, not a hook. You don't want that, because you're going to sit there for 20 minutes trying to pull that thread through, and by then you're ready to slingshot the whole mess. So get you a real crochet hook. Okay? This here is a real crochet hook. The steel crochet hooks, don't get me wrong, they work for tatting. They don't work with these hands. I have to grip them tight, and I don't have that kind of grip. It's a long story. We're not going into it. So I took this. This was a pen I had. It ran out of ink a long time ago. I thought, I wonder if that'll work for a cover to go on that crochet hook. Well, apparently it does. So I put a little glue in there and dropped the crochet hook in, screwed it back together. I'll show you. This is the base. I got this at Dollar Tree or something. Now, I did have to cut the tip of the crochet hook to make it fit inside the capsule of the pen, but I put just regular hot glue down in there. And Dennis, you got to move the truck. Bring her here. No, she's not. Yeah, we'll have to buy a new window. Rocks are hitting the windows. Anyway, I put hot glue down here and let it run down, and then I put the hook in like this, and it's held. I've had this for 10 years. It's been that long ago. Then I just put the cap back on, and it gives me something to hold on to. So when I'm working with bigger threads, this works for me. It's an idea. I got the pen at Dollar Tree. Get cheap pens if you're going to do it. Okay? That way you ain't lost nothing. Don't use your Parker Brothers pen, okay, or one of those gold gold pens. Don't use cheap pens. All right, now here's what we got. The pattern says for this first part here, you're going to wind about 1 meter on your shuttle. You do not cut. And then you're going to do a ring of 6, join to first button, and 6, and close the ring. So let's do that so I can show you how to attach it. Now, remember, I am using a size 10 thread here to show you this, because I want you to see how you have to go about joining. Okay, I am not going to fight with you. Not today, Murphy. Today's not your day. Today is my student's day. So you can leave. We evicted him 2 weeks ago. He still ain't left. He says he's got more packing to do. Now everything just tangled up. See what he does to me? He's horrible. He's absolutely horrible. He's mean. Mia, I know she's mowing the grass. See, she doesn't like the grass to be mowed either. She's very meticulous about things. She's a fraidy cat. I'd hate to think I had to rely on her to protect me. It wouldn't happen, that's for sure. Of all things, to tie a knot in the other thread. Okay, we got you out of the way. Now let's move on. Let's make it a good one. All right, so we're going to tat our 6 double stitches. I don't have much thread on here. She didn't want us to put much on there. Now I'm only going to do the 1 hole on the button, and I'm doing that for a reason. You'll learn that in just a minute. That's 3, 4, 5. I got to pull out some more thread. And 6. Now we've got to join to this big bead so you can see what I'm doing. Normally I would not use a bead like this for a pattern like this one, but for demonstration, that's what we're doing. And we're going to grab our big jumbo crochet hook. You're going to go down in that hole. You're going to grab your thread and pull it back through the hole. Pull it up. Lay it on your finger like that. Pay attention to this. This is where things are going to get gnarly if you don't watch what you're doing. You see there's no twist here. There's no twist here or here. That's what you want. If this gets twisted, it's not going to lay right. Okay, it has to lay a certain way. Make sure it's not twisted down here. Then take your shuttle, run it up through that picot. That is knuckles to nail. Okay, because if you look at it, you're coming knuckles to nail, that's up. Nail to knuckles is down, okay, which would be this way. All right, so now we've got it, and you pull it down. Now you walk it back around to your last double stitch. See that? Right there. Hold it in the pinch and put your first half in only. Now, that sort of kind of locks it in so it doesn't move around a lot. And you can adjust if necessary. Then continue on. That's 1, 2. Now you see, I don't have enough to continue. And you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't open that ring with that in the way. Yes, you can if you did it right. And you can give yourself more thread. Just don't remove it from the pinch. That's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. When you see your thread kinking back on itself like that, don't close that ring yet. Okay, there's 5 and the 6th one. Now, watch what I'm doing here. Draping it, you see it spinning? Pull back on it, let it spin some more. When it stops, it's ready to close that ring. You definitely do not want it to kink up with this button in the way. Okay? Because when you close that ring, you need it to close smoothly. So, pull it down to where you can control your closing. And go. Slow, slow, slow. When you see the thread to start do this, straighten it out. Don't close it with the knot there, because if you do, you'll never get it out. I'm fair warning you. Keep working it, working it, working it, and then close it completely. Close it tight. Okay? You see that? You got it in. Now the next step is to reverse your work. Remember? This is a good way to remember reversing your work. This is the top. Top becomes bottom. Bottom becomes top. That shows you the reverse of the work. Roll back up, and you've got to put 3 double stitches in. Okay? That's the 3rd one. All right, now we got the 3 double stitches in. We're done with that button. Okay? And you're going to do 5 more buttons the same way until you get what looks like this. And that's your center. Okay? Now, the next phase is when we start on the outer part of this. It's outside. Okay? So we're going to put this out of the way. Set it over here, out of the way. And we are going to pull over our project. All right. Let's get this little puppy going here. Now, as you see, I have mine worked up till I've got this section and this section left to do. Okay? Now, let me make sure y'all can see everything. Everything's in view. I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to show you. If I can keep the thread straight, keep everything straight, I'll be doing good. I'm in business. All right. Now, on this one is a good way to show you. This would be, see this button? This here, this section here, is this. So, we'll put it there. And this is the way you're going to be looking at it. This is the top of your button. This is the bottom. This is the left, and this is the right. Now, she says, according to her instructions here, that this is buttonhole 1, right here, buttonhole 1, buttonhole 2, and buttonhole 3. Make sure you're paying attention, because you've got 2 that join here in buttonhole 2. Do you know how many times I attached it without thinking what I was doing to either this button hole or this one? You really got to focus when you're doing your picot joints. Okay, especially here. So, however you need to remember it, just do it. But you want to start here. Okay, so now we're going to start here with the next ring, but we have to put in our chain. I didn't want to put the chain in because I didn't want to confuse you all. Okay, so we are going to finish this piece out today so you can see it finished. Needed to get something to drink. throat was dry. Now we've got 10 double stitches to put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you want to pull your threads down until you get a nice little arch on your chain. Because once you come into this part, you're not going to be able to go back and fix it. All right, so let's reverse our work again. And we're going to work on the ring that's going to join right here to this side. Okay, so let's do it. And these are 8 picot 8. So let's put it in the first 8. 1. Now somebody asked the other day, what do you do with your work as you're tatting? Well, you see what I'm doing? I flip it out of my way. If it's a big project, I kind of stuff it down in this little area of my hand, flip it over. But look, when you're tatting, and especially big projects, plan on the inevitable happening. You're going to have it everywhere. And it's going to go everywhere it's not supposed to go. So you have to pick up your own method that works for you. Me, I stuff this. If it's a big project, I stuff it down in there. It'll all go down there. It's got to be blocked anyway. No sense crying over spilt milk if it's wrinkled. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, got our 8 double stitches. Now, I want to make sure everything's ready. Okay, and I've got to join to that. So I'm going to open this up just a little, give myself enough room to grab that thread. Where's my hook? Now, we're going into the 3rd buttonhole. Flip our work out of the way, grab that thread, and you see why I said make sure you can pull that through with the thread on. Okay. Now we're going up under. Yeah, that button's in the way. Now what you got to do, you got to move it out of the way. Bring it on down, bring it on down, bring it on down. You're working it in. You're going to park it where it needs to go. Line it up. Put it in the pinch. Hold that pinch and get the first half of that stitch in to lock it in place. Okay, we got it. Is everything lined up? Put in the second half and put in the other 7 stitches. That's 2, 3. See how it caught that button? That's the perks of tatting. Slow and steady wins the race. That's a lesson I need to learn. I teach it all the time. But again, move it out of the way. No more button in the way. Now we've got 3 double stitches. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, because this is Elizabeth thread, drop our shuttle, pull back on it, let it pull that twist out. Let it do it on its own. If it gets wrapped around the thread, your tail thread, move it out of the way. All right, now you can start closing. Close it slow so you don't twist the thread. If you hold it in the pinch tight enough, it will untwist the thread as you're closing. And then you've got your ring in. Now, you got to adjust, okay? Because we need another ring back to back to join over there. If we're following the pattern, here's where we're at. We did this ring, and she's got this one coming in right here into the next button. Even though all this is already done, pretend like it is not. This is the part we are working on right here. This is where gaposis is going to get you. Pay very close attention to what you're doing. Okay? So let's do this. Now you see I got a kink. I'm going to drop my shuttle. And what I like to do is run my hand down through it. Just let it twist, let it do its thing. Get it out of the way. It's got problems, you don't. All right, now wrap our hand for a ring. Move this stuff out of the way until we get to when we have to join it. Watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to try to get close so you can see. Pull that double stitch all the way down on top of that ring. Hold it in the pinch and come in with your second half. Okay, now you've got 2 rings butted up against each other started. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, when you're working with your tatting, if you pay attention to how it feels between the pads of your finger, you can tell your count by your feel. You can tell if a stitch didn't flip or if a stitch flipped by the feel. Okay? Remember that, because we do have a class that will teach you all this fun stuff. All right? Now, we've got to join to the left side of that button. Now, here's another tidbit. Remember this? Make note. If your button happens to be twisted like that, how ugly is that pattern going to be if you've got one button facing up and one facing down and twisted, and you don't realize it till you join way back here? Make sure your buttons are facing the right directions. That's a pitfall. Like I said, this pattern's loaded with pitfalls. Just remember to pay attention to what you're doing. Now we're going into the buttonhole 1 as per the instructions, and we're going to pull the thread through. We're going to hook it on our finger. We're going to make sure the thread is not twisted. We're going to take our shuttle and go up through that picot. We're going to pull the picot down, lay it where it needs to go. Okay, we're going to open up thread on the shuttle, wrap our hand for the ring, and we're going to put the first half of that ring in, right? And we're going to line it up, and it's going to lock everything into place. Okay, go in with the second half. We got our first double stitch, put the rest of them in. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we got to close that ring. So what are we going to do? We're going to pull that twist out. You'll see it. It's coming out. It was twisty. It was really twisty. Look at that. Now let's close that ring. See how much time you're saving yourself just by that one little step added to your routine. It will save you hours of frustration, lots of ripping out, frogging, whatever you want to call it. Okay? So just remember that little trick. Now it looks like one ring's bigger than the other. It's because I didn't close this one as tight as I did this one. And see, you'll catch things like that. That's okay on this. If I was giving it away or was putting it in competition, I would mind my tension on the pool. Okay? But as you can see, there is no gap between the 2 rings. Now we've got to put our chain in, right? So we've got to put 10 double stitches in. So we're going to choke up on that shuttle. And we're going to put in 10 double stitches. Now here's a gaposis problem. You want to pull that double stitch over to this chain as tight as you can. If this is your first chain, put it right between the two rings as tight as you can. All right, and put in the second half. And then you have avoided gaposis. Go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the last of, no, 10 is what we got to put in, right? 8, 9, and 10. Tighten up our chain. Let's get our next ring ready to go in. Okay? And you're already seeing it shape into the way that it's supposed to shape. Okay? So let's get the next ring in. I'm going to take you to this one, and then that's it. Then I'll take questions. Because I want to leave enough of the project in case you need to see something again. Okay? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's open our ring up. Give us some playroom here. Grab our crochet hook, fold this out of the way so we don't pull that up in there. Go down through the center one straight across. Okay, we're going in right there. And grab that thread, pull it up. Hook it on our finger, check and make sure we're not twisted there. Grab our shuttle, go up. Pull it down and adjust. All right, put in the last 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now we're going to close. Remember, what do we do before we close? Drop that shuttle. I want to get that other thread out of the way. You can tell it's some twisty thread today. And I'll tell you a little secret. Humidity will make your thread twist even more. Okay. Pull that twist out. Let your shuttle dangle. Let it do its little free-for-all there. It's a ballerina. Now you're ready to close your ring. Pull back on it. Take your fingers out one at a time if you have to. But when you take your loom off your hand, try not to roll the thread or you'll create twist. Pull, grab it, and pull back on it right there to close that ring. All right, there you go. We got that one in. Now this next chain is a doozy. The next chain is 10 picot 10. Okay, this is where we're at. Because we've gotten, let me show you. We got this joined here. That's this right here. See these two? We got them. We've done this chain. We've done this ring right here. This is ring C. Now we've got to do this chain and join ring D in the same hole. Now that's what we're going to do next. Now, this is 10 picot 10, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Totally missed the loop. Let's try that again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lay that chain the way you want it to arc. Drop our shuttle. Run our finger down that shuttle thread and let it spin out because it is getting twisty around the hand. Okay. Now, we got to put our picot in. Now, what I've been using is the quarter mark on the picot gauge. I'm going to put our first stitch in, second stitch to make sure everything's in place. Pull the picot gauge out of the way, and then move it over, pop the picot up. Now we've got 2 double stitches. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put our chain on there the way we want it to go. Make sure it's all lined up and even. Fiddle faddle with it. Okay. Get it all set up and then reverse our work to do our next ring. Now our next ring is going to join in the same hole as the last ring. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Check your count. Make sure you've got 8. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8. Now, we're going to join right here. We don't want this one mingling with it. Move it out of the way. We want to open the ring up so we have enough room on that thread to do what we need to do. Go down through that same hole this ring is in, right there. Okay, grab our thread and pull it up. Put it on our finger. Loop it over the finger. Make sure it's not twisted. Bring that shuttle up. Now let go. Pull that picot in. Walk it in. Walk it in. Walk it in. Once you get it set where you want it to go, put in that first half. Double check its location. Loosen if you need to. Tighten if you want to. And then put in the second half. Then you finish putting your stitches in. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're fixing to close the ring. What do? We drop our shuttle, pull that twist out, let it dingle dangle, then close our ring. Slowly, slowly, keep everything out of the way. Remove it off our fingers without twisting the thread or rolling the thread. And get that ring closed tight. Bring it around and adjust if necessary. And you see we've got 2 rings in this hole right here. Now, time for questions. Everybody got that? We are now where we started from right here. This is where we started. We've worked our way around to here. All we've got to do now is this one chain and the ring, and we're going to repeat it. It's because it is easy. It looked like a very difficult pattern, didn't it? Patterns are deceiving. You just have to think it through. Okay, let me switch cameras. Back up. Get my mouse to wake up. Come on, wake up. Hello. It's time to get up. There we go. Sometimes it just doesn't want to. Okay. Patterns can be very deceiving. I can hand you a pattern that has different techniques in it that makes it look so hard, but it's really not. You've got to stop looking at tatting patterns as they're difficult, because it's a ring, you know that. It's a chain, you know that. It's a picot, you know that. And it's a join. Everything else is frills. When they get into the split rings, things like that, that's fancy footwork. Can you do a pattern without split rings? If it calls for split rings, I don't see it happening unless it is a split ring. But if you don't want to do a split ring, you can do a chain. Hear me out. You can do a chain. Say the split ring is supposed to be 10 and 10 on the ring. You can do a chain of 10, picot, very tiny one, chain of 10, picot, chain of 10, picot. Continue on until how many rings you want. Then you come up the other side and you start joining to that picot. You say 10, you join, 10, you join. Myself, I'd rather learn how to do a split ring, but you can do it that way. So there is an out for everything that is simple, but what it will do is make your pattern look like it's simple. I much rather would make it with split rings or something like that, that is really a simple technique when it gets down to the basics of it. And it looks like it took hours to accomplish. That's what, going to make it look beautiful. And, all of it is easy. I mean, single shuttle split rings. Oh my God, I just blew your minds. You can do a split ring with one shuttle. And it's really easy. You just got to know what you're doing. Okay? But it's doable. Everything you can imagine is doable. And once you bare bones it, get down to the basics of it, you'll see that it's very easy to accomplish. Okay? And as intermediates, you're not supposed to know this stuff yet. But you're learning it, you're picking it up, and you're finally seeing it for what it truly is. It looks difficult, but when you take it down to the bare bones, it's really not. Anybody can tat. It's knowing what to do when you're tatting is the key. Y'all understand that? Does that philosophy make sense? It took me a long time to realize that. That was my aha moment. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, this is easy. And that has been a joke between me and Karina for an age. You always make it look so easy. You just got to strip out all the bells and whistles. And it is easy. Doesn't matter if you're needle or shuttle. Take away all them bells and whistles and you can do it. So Any questions? Anything you need to look at again? Does everybody understand it? You reverse work after every element unless the pattern tells you not to, Jackie. Up joins, that is common throughout all patterns unless the pattern tells you use a down join. It's all what the pattern says. Now, here's a prime example. Ankars. If the ring's on top, you have to use the up join. If the ring's on the bottom, you've got to use a down join. Well, there is a reason for that. Okay? Try doing a ring on ring and use a down join where an up join is supposed to go. You will see it not. And that shows. You don't want it to show. So that's the reason for the frill. That's the down join. Okay? Do not reverse work. That means you're changing the direction of a chain. That's usually when it doesn't reverse work. Okay? Now they have do not reverse work if you're doing stacked rings. There's various elements that you work with, and an element is a ring, an element is a chain, an element is a picot, an element is a split ring. Elements are your little additions to make the piece go further. Okay? Everything on here is an element. What you do with that element depends on what you come up with. If a pattern says, say this pattern said do not reverse work after this ring, this chain would automatically go the other direction. That means you're changing direction. If it said do not reverse work on your ring, that means you're doing two rings together side by side. See how simple that was? But you see those in a pattern and you go, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I don't understand why they want me to do that. Now, that's not to say some patterns have misprints and they tell you to reverse work when you shouldn't. And that's why these diagrams and photographs are so nice, because if these chains were meant to go in the different direction and she didn't say do not reverse work, you could see it needed do not reverse work. You see? It's think it through. That's the best way I can describe it. Think it through. What I did as a beginner and as an intermediate, I would take my pen or whatever, and I would draw little arrows in the direction, the path that it took, so I could remember why it needs to be that way. That might help you guys. But take the finished pattern, follow it through. Mark little arrows giving yourself direction. And then if it says do not reverse work, you can say, why? That's not, if I don't reverse work, this is going to turn a different way. And I don't want that. I want it to go this way. That pattern's wrong. Then you write the designer and she has to change it. Okay? So anytime you have a pattern, read it through once, read it through twice, and read it 3 times just for good measure. But on the 3rd time, you should have all your little marks on there, knowing what you're going to do. And that's half the battle of tatting, is knowing in advance what you need to do. Oh, you're welcome, Jackie. You're very welcome. We got to take out the anxiety in tatting. Okay? It's supposed to be relaxing, not give you a nervous breakdown. But you can do this. Never doubt yourself. Tatting is your own. It will represent who you are more than anything else you do in your life. If your tatting is tight and pristine, then that means you're meticulous about your work. You're meticulous about yourself. If your tatting's haphazard and you don't care that it looks like this or that, guess what? You're haphazard in your life. So it reflects back on you. Remember that. All right, Julianne, I didn't know I was twisting my joints till today. You saw how it would twist, right? I'm glad you caught that, because a lot of people don't tell you that. You will take lessons till the cows come home. Very few people will tell you, make sure that your loop before you join that picot is in the right position. Now, there's times you want to twist your picots. This one is not one of those times. That could create you more headaches than you need. A twisted picot join on this pattern will lock it up. Okay? It'll lock it up every time. Then you've got to back it out. It took me, where was it? I'm thinking it was on this one here, where I was supposed to join the two. And I joined it, mind you, like an idiot, up here at the top. And I went ahead and did it, and I was like, oh, no, it's not supposed to join there. So I had to rip it all out. And getting it ripped out was ridiculous. I was ready just to take scissors. I'll just start over. It was that bad. Yeah, my hair grows fast. It's like my fingernails. Y'all remember I cut my nails off just last week and they were almost to the nubs? You see them now? They're not to the nubs anymore. I put fertilizer on my hair and my nails. Another week, they'll be twice as long. But yeah, my hair grows fast. This time next year, I'll be sitting on my hair. I like long hair. I can put it in a ponytail and go. I don't have to blow dry it, curl it, and everything else. And the longer my hair gets, the heavier it gets, the straighter it gets. So I don't have to use straight iron on it. I could make several wigs out of my hair. Several. So, any questions? Y'all got it? I want to see your work in the class. I want to see it put up on the class page on Facebook. If you don't get on Facebook, send pictures. I want to see your achievements with this, because it looked like a difficult pattern and it was a trick. I fooled y'all. It's not difficult at all. Next week, we may do some block tatting. No, you won't. You won't touch my hair with scissors. I'm growing my hair out for a reason. This winter makes a nice scarf. Then I'll have to make a scarf. I got caught off guard when it snowed last year. So, if there's no questions, what do y'all think about trying some block tatting next week? I'll look for some patterns that's got some block tatting in it. Y'all think that's difficult? Bet you it's not. I'll show you the easy way to do it. Yeah, I want to give you all different things. Oh, you're going to cut the tatting out? Nah, I was about to. I'll be honest with you, Pam. I was about to. I said, no, I'm going to take it out. I've gotten this far. I've got determination that nobody knows about. My mom used to tell me I was headstrong. Nothing ever stopped me. I went and did it, barreled through it. If I'm sick, I will barrel through to accomplish what I have to do that day. I've always been that way. So, yeah. Well, I've come to class sick many times. Y'all didn't know it. If I back out, you know it's bad. So, with that said, I'm going to call it a class. Don't forget Thursday. We have Thursday beginners class. I have a treat for you guys. Thursday, we're going to learn all the fun tools that you can use in tatting. Well, you're welcome, Jillian. Now, remember, guys, watch the commercials on the replay so we can earn money to pay for the website. I am working on it. Have y'all been over there? Dennis moved some, the labels that we had at the top. He's got them going down the side. We're still working on the print and stuff. I've got a lot of samples. Anna told me we got a lot of samples sent in. Now, if you all are going to sample, patterns, what I mean is tat it up and it's a sample, please contact Anna. She's diddling out the patterns. She won't give you a pattern you can't do, okay? No, it's not next week. It's this Thursday. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got a special designated spot for the beginner class replays. RD, aren't you registered in the class for beginner? I thought you were registered. Pam, is she registered for the class? She needs to be. Put her in there. We don't want to overrun what Gmail will let us mail. That's the reason I have to have it special, because we're going to go through Gmail to send the emails out to you guys. And they claim we're spamming you if we send out too many emails. I'm not spamming you. I'm teaching you. But yeah, you can view them. I've got a special playlist for them. Yeah, you can go. You can go. Pam, put her in. Put her on the list. I think we've got something like 27 students now. Now, I know there's moderators going to be in there, and I've got some guests coming in that it'll be Thursday. It'll be the same time, and the link goes out just like it does on Tuesday. So, I have no idea what you're talking about, Pam. I'm totally confused. The blonde roots are showing now. Okay, we will. Not a problem. You can come. Now I can answer. I'm going to try to show you both the techniques and stuff when we get into the techniques, both needle and shuttle. Okay. And I'm going to extend the classes as we get further in. So, but yeah, when I get through with y'all in the beginners class, you're going to be a full-fledged intermediate heading your way to advanced. So we'll be on track with this class. Oh, no problem, sweetie. No problem at all. So if you like today's class, give it a thumbs up. raise that algorithm for us. If you feel like it's beneficial to you, you can donate. You can do super chat, super thanks, super stickers, or you can donate to the class through the website at paypal.com. The link's on the homepage for you to click and you can donate. Any dollar amount is fine. If you can't afford to donate, please watch the commercials. I thought you were registered too, Karen. Pam, is Karen in there? If not, put her in. We just don't want to run us over 35. I mean, that's going to be tapping at the max with Gmail. She'll look and see, and she'll get you in there, Karen. So, Pam? No, we can get you in. Not a problem. Pam's going to start the day that class starts. The students that come in after that will go into the next series. But they're welcome to look at the first series. And you all will be able to review all the series as they come out, because I have a playlist that we're going to do just for beginners. And that way you all can go back and review. It'll be just like we have here. Okay, she's the last one. Thanks, Pam. So anybody after that, we got to wait till the next series. Because it's an unlisted classroom, we have to send the emails out through Gmail. We can't send them out through Email Dodo. And we have to be careful because Gmail has a problem with YouTube. They think we're sending y'all spam for adult content because we're listed as an adult group. We're not, it's because we use scissors and needles. We're dangerous like that. So, with that said, I will see you guys, beginners, Thursday. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Karina, I'm glad you made it. Anyway, I'm going to call it a class. You guys have a wonderful day, the rest of your week. For those of you that I will be seeing Thursday, bring your notepad and pen. Got lots of 411 for y'all. So we'll go over everything that you can use to tap with, things you can do to tap with that cost you nothing because you're recycling, and things you can purchase. All right. With that said, I will see you all either Thursday or next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, we're going to do some block tatting patterns. Have a great week and have a great weekend. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.